was on the surface or was on the boat moving or shifting or there's something on the ground or behind us. So I look at him, he's looking at me, and, I'm thinking like, don't panic, we generally don't get scared because we see a lot, but this was really loud and it was really strange. So we look around, we can't see anything, and we continue on looking for lobsters for this guy. Within about, I would say, probably 30 seconds, we experienced like a thermal climb. And if you're not familiar with that, that's when the temperature of the water changes. But this was extreme. And simultaneously to this happening, the water visibility started to go down a bit.
Suddenly, the two divers sense something behind them. McKeever turns and looks and shows immediate signs of physical panic. Before Ulbrich can wheel around, something takes out McKeever.
Something just came out of nowhere violently. It brushed me as it came by, and it attacked Rick. It literally ripped him away from his position. And when it happened, it was so violent that the turbulence was like a wave. It was like a wave hitting me. And all of a sudden there was like just red around me. And I couldn't see Rick. And I'm starting to really freak out at this point. I'm looking around, I don't see him, all I see is red. I'm looking frantically for my friend, and he's nowhere to be found. Before I knew it, my heart was beating so loud, it was just in my eardrums, just pounding away. That mixed with the current and the red water, I was literally panicked out of my mind, and I had to gather myself together, and I said, I gotta get out of here now, or I'm not gonna get out of here. I was freaking petrified. I managed to make it about 3/4 of the way up. Some kind of courage in me told me, look for Rick. Just take one last look. And he was nowhere to be found. There was nothing there.
So I'm walking around the boat looking for bubbles, hoping they're coming back up, and that's when I see Hans.
Ryder! What the hell's going on? We gotta go!
They helped hold me up on the boat, and I'm kicking and screaming the whole time. And they're looking at me like, calm down, calm down.
And he says, we gotta get out of here, otherwise we're all gonna die. We didn't want to leave because we wanted to find Hans had come up too quick, so he was die. We didn't.
Calm down, calm down.
And he says, we gotta get out of here, otherwise we're all gonna die. We didn't want to leave because we wanted to find Hans had come up too quick, so he was gonna start getting sick from the vents, and I knew we had to get him back in. So I called the Coast Guard and told them that we had a diver down and where he was.
The radio chatter is intercepted by a young news photographer named Lee Van Aston. I convinced him to discuss this disturbing incident.
At that time, I was working as a freelance photographer for a local news station. I was listening to the radio scanner when I heard about an ongoing Coast Guard search of a shark attack victim. And I could hear there were several vessels out there looking for a victim. And then a call came across.
Coast Guard TV 219, I think right now we're going to find, we're going to go ahead and bring it in. We're still looking for the security. It doesn't look good. Looks probably like a boat propeller guy. Maybe a shark. No greens, no body.
Oh boy.
Van Aston ascertains the vessel number and the location where it will be docking. Eager for a scoop, he rushes to the pier. He meets the boat crew as they are unloading and laying out the evidence for the coroner and police.
Check this out.
The crew is clearly
The claw
inexperienced with the
of
press.
a reptile.
Van Aston presents his credentials and is able to take unobstructed photos. There is nothing left credentials and is able to take up with the press. Van Asten presents his credentials and is able to take up.
Oh, come on.
He rushes to the pier. Police. The crew is clearly inexperienced with the press. Van Asten presents his credentials and is able to take unobstructed.
Look at the claw right there. Look at the claw. This is the claw of that dinosaur-like reptile. They have flesh and everything. Look at that. Boy, that is one enormous claw, my goodness. Look at that. Look at that, my goodness. With a groove. So it was retractable. My God, the size. Is that one of the claws? And that thing had 5 in each leg. That is one enormous monster, my goodness. Well, that's a dinosaur. Look, this. It retracts like a raptor. Golly, that is incredible, man. That's what took that diver. Must to get stuck in the tank or something to be able to get ripped off like that. Look at that, man. And that's what's left of the diver's gear. The oxygen indicator, some of his diving suit, the belt, and the tank. Oh boy.
Photos. There is nothing left of it.
Did you see that?
Beaver, but trace evidence. His wetsuit is shredded, his regulator hose torn, and his tank severely scraped.
Look at the claw.
It had all been found on the ocean floor about 100 yards from the hull of the Allen. Also discovered is a massive talon with a hunk of fleshy cuticle still attached. The claw measures 9 inches along the curve. The search and rescue team seems as in awe of it as the young photographer does.
Look at that,
I asked if it was a deformed shark tooth, and they didn't know.
Man.
And
Tattoo ain't like
it was still 9 inches long, and that would make this animal a total freak of nature.
That ain't no damn
I've
shark.
read Hans Ulbricht's account,
No.
and now I've seen Van Asten's photographs.
9 inches.
What was this creature? A new, undiscovered species? Or an ancient one? I'm not sure. A diver has been killed, and TV news photographer Lee Van Asten has captured evidence of a strange cause for this incident.
I immediately realized I had some once-in-a-lifetime pictures. And when I noticed that the police were coming, I just headed back straight to my car and got out of there. I went back to the dark room to get those films developed for the 11 p.m. news. Then at 7:30, some guy in a suit showed up at the news station looking to talk to the manager.
What is the negative?
But they left with the films, any pictures I was able to develop, as well as the negatives.
Despite having gathered information on what appears to be a compelling story, the station doesn't run anything on it at 11. They do report on it the next day, but the incident is described as a boating mishap, with no emphasis on the massive violence McKeever suffered. The news station and the search team refuse to answer any further questions about it. As the weeks go by, a traumatized Hans Ulbricht falls into a deep depression.
It was really starting to get to me. I mean, I couldn't even make my best friend's funeral. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I had no desire to dive. I mean, I had lost what felt like my lust for life. Along with my best friend, just a horrifying memory of that day. The way the newspapers reported the story was just a complete sham. I mean, they got it so wrong. I mean, they called it a boating accident. I mean, this was not a boating accident. This was something much more. I started to feel obligated to get the truth to the surface.
It was no megalodon, it was something worse.
Ulbricht seeks out a reporter from the Santa Barbara Herald-Leader, a small local paper. It's a fairly reputable publication and known to be a little more aggressive about the stories it would get behind.
You know, I almost felt like I was being mocked, honestly, when the guy had first come up, because he was young. I noticed something different about this reporter. He actually looked like he was listening to me. And he was writing stuff down. He wasn't dismissing me. This guy was believing me. For the first time since the incident, or whatever you would call it, I had somebody to believe my story.
Oh, he told me the truth.
I get a phone call out of the blue one night. I pick up the phone. There's a strange voice on the other end of the line. I can't place this voice, but it doesn't sound good.
Threatening. That's what they do.
This guy tells me,
Shut your
listen,
mouth. Your mouth.
you need to shut your mouth.
Uh-huh.
And I'm frozen. Normally I would tell somebody like this to go to hell. And he starts mentioning my family's names,
Oh.
their full names, and their addresses. Nobody knows about my family. Nobody knows anything about, where we're from.
That's what you thought.
I'm quite taken aback, and I'm scared at this point. He tells me I need to shut my mouth, get all of my together, and get the hell out of town. Now. At that point, I decide this is real, and something really big is happening here that's bigger than you. Next morning I get up,
45
I pack
feet
up
long.
everything I have, I put it in my car, and I roll out of Santa Barbara, content to leave the whole damn thing behind me. I, at this point, for the first time, am comfortable to speak about it again.
Ulbricht's leaving town may have been motivated by more than fear. Neighbors say he departed in a new car, which he never could have afforded given the financial hardships he describes. California motor vehicle records show that he indeed owned it.
Pay.
Where did that
got
money
paid.
come from?
You get disappeared. Fuck out of here and don't talk about it.
The oceanside town of Santa Barbara, California, has been shaken by the disturbing death of young diver Rick McKeever. Just when it appears that the whole matter is going to blow over, A man's disappearance and presumed death, evidence of a cryptozoological creature, and what is clearly a